Salute, salute. Peace and power, peace and power. Peace and power to the people of the struggle. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. I'm trying to get this right. As you can see, it's a little bit of a struggle. Let's go. I thank the universal truth and the absolute laws of nature for guiding me, protecting me, and giving me the strength to endure the imperfect. I shall attack with vigor, making progressive moves. A divine mind knows, a divine mind shows. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. Peace and power to the people that struggle. As you come on in, know that you're in a safe space. Know you're in a space of learning and getting learned up. Know that you're in a space of educating and being educated. Know that you're in a space for conversation, comments and concerns, questions and answers. You're in a space of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. A space of love, hell, or right. A space of masters and queens. Your space, a space of integrity, of intelligence. A space where we are seeking a united path towards what? True liberation. As my classroom assistants come on in, please keep all contact information in the chat for the duration and throughout the class. Please keep all funding information, funding hashtags, green screens, apps with cash, pals that pay, grams that are money, unions that are vested, damn red cups, blue cups, teacups, squeegee man pockets, Santa Bell bells. Yeah, Santa Bell bells. Damn it. Good goddamn Samaritans. Good way, by the way. Damn it, the church collection plate. Yeah, all that. The goddamn Hummer Fund. There's a war going on outside. Fund the war effort. If you or anybody you know is in need of anger management, please book an assessment. Don't wait until it's too late. Don't wait until you cuffed up. Don't wait until they punching you in your face on the subway platform. Don't wait until you get thrown out of the Winn-Dixie or the Piggly Wiggly or the Trader Joe's. Don't wait. Get yourself together. If you or anybody you know is in need of a domestic violence intervention, please book an assessment. Stop sending each other outside with arm slings, eye patches, band-aids and shit, busted lips and scraped up. Come on, man. Book an assessment. If you or anybody you know is in need of an intimate relationship abuse counseling and consultation, book an assessment. Learn the warning signs, the behaviors that should alarm you, characters and characteristics that should heighten your awareness. Man, listen, events, people, conversation, places, past traumas that should have your alertness levels on 1,000. Remember with this information, the life that you save could be your own. How y'all do? Bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. This one is a doozy, but I'm doing everything I can to do what I gotta do, okay? First and foremost, our classroom assistant, Tierra Green, is her born day today. So everybody give Tierra some born day love. Put some cakes in the chat. Put some flowers in the chat for Tierra Green, our youngin' from South Jersey. Okay? Give us some born day love. All right? That's the first order of business. Second, we got some people to tag. Somebody tag, and it's going to be her new name. Dummy Cardi. Yeah, tag Cardi. She's a dummy. Dummy Cardi. Tag her. BX, please stand up. Tell her bring her ass to class. Okay? I've had enough of the talk. So I got to put my educated spin on this Bimmy shit. So tag Queens. Baisley, come front and center. Tag Bimmy. Tell him to bring his ass to class. Yup. Babbling Bimmy, the deal broker. Since he don't want to be a rat and he don't want to be a snitch. Damn it, he's a deal broker. So tell him come to class. Tag the NYPD. BBL mom, bring your ass to class. Yeah. And somebody go call Fluff Daddy, Tyler Perry. You dropped 100K? Tag him. Tell him to come to class. Yeah. And while y'all tag yourselves, tag your classmates, tell them to put down their little tweeds, close up their little bottles of moonshine and wild Irish rose. Yeah. And let's see what's going on. Let's see who's in class. Y'all like this? Do y'all like this? Yeah, I know y'all like that. Yeah, hold up. Let me see. I don't want to tear nothing up. Can y'all read the back? Can y'all read the back? Yeah, excuse my back. Yeah, this is, yeah. And that's from Mr. Strictly Game. First in class, LA in the building. Tierra Green, the youngin'. Happy born day, T. Tierra Green, second in class. And Chris, Threats, Philly in the building. What up, Philly? A Wood, what's going on? Detroit, what up? Yeah, your 40th. Oh, A Wood, you a youngin'. Philip Boone in the building. Merklo in the building. Who that? BK Springy. What's going on? Peace. What's going on with you? All right. Terrell. What up, Rel? I love when Rel come to class. Dust Fro. What up? Frankie, peace. King, what up? Yeah, you in the building. Okay, Snook the Bear TV, Mark Green Apples, peace. Ray Charles, what up? Thrax Packs TV, what up? Mark Hines. Daryl, what up? Daryl Maddox, what up? NFNT, peace and power. Charles, yes, think for yourself, what up? Neef Buck, god damn it, Philly's up in here deep already, y'all. Andrea Jones, what up? Jane Doe, Tata, what up? Yeah, we see you. April Brown. God damn it, Teach. What up, Teach? What's going on? DMV in the building. Who else in here? Versace, Broccoli, goddamn. Oh, Flatbush Man, what up? Yeah. Big Red Shaolin, what up? What up, OG? Okay. What's going on? Angel, what up? Block Monster, what up? Okay. Yeah. I see y'all. Yeah. Lovely lady, what up? Okay. Who else is up in here? Dre, what up? Marguerite McDonald Music. I see you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, who else? Who else? Peace, Dank, what up? See Blaze, my sniper, sincere truth, what up? Mike Aaron, the goddamn Philly in the building, deep construction site media, what up? Who's that? Shotto, what up? Okay, what up, Terry? Yeah, y'all in here deep. So y'all hear the voice. So, I'm struggling through it. Bear with me. Bear with me. We're going to get to it because I can't take it no more. First and foremost, if you're in Mississippi, damn it, Mississippi, be on the lookout for a nasty monkey, Grippergate monkey. They said the monkey got herpes. The monkey got Coco 19. The monkey got all type of bullshit with him. Watch out for a monkey running around Mississippi. Okay? Y'all in danger out there. The monkey got the clap. So be on the lookout. Watch your grippers. Okay? Yeah. Heidelberg, Mississippi. A truck transporting monkeys crashed in South Mississippi. The crash happened on Tuesday afternoon. That's today. Interstate 59 north of Heidelberg in the county of Jasper. The truck came from Tulane University in New Orleans. Some of the monkeys escaped. The monkey carries Hep C, herpes, and Coco Uno Nuevo. Damn it, watch yourself. Make sure that monkey don't get on your grippers and get the, skeet and all that. Watch out for monkey. Okay? Yeah, it sounds like an episode of Outbreak. You see how they trying to make every movie come to reality? Damn. I'm waiting for the aliens still. So I can ask them who they pray to. You understand? If you know where I'm going with that. All right, so if you're in Mississippi or Louisiana, watch out for the monkey with the clap. If you see the monkey, don't touch him. If you out there crunching and you see a monkey, don't walk up on it thinking that you're high. That's a real monkey. And he got some shit. Okay? So watch yourself, damn it. Now, let's see. I can't go in a specific order tonight because I know what I'm going to do last. So I'm trying to save my voice. Okay? Because it's very important that we take a trip to Southside. Okay? Mm-hmm. Thank you, April. All right? Peace, Moo. What up? So let's get to this. Because we've been talking about this. We've been talking about it here and there for the last few weeks. This surgeries, these BBLs, these women who just refuse to go to the gym. Ain't that right, Moo? I don't know. The gym I go to, Latin mommies be in there working hard. But they got BBL. Excuse me. they got BBLs too. Yeah, not all of them, but I seen a few of them in there. So they trying to maintain it. I don't know what's going on with it. It never made sense to me. Even when I was in the life and I was running around with the porn starlets and stuff. And they was the first ones doing different type of body augmentation and surgery. They were the first ones to get their breasts done and all that. And back then, that stuff was hard. You immediately knew when somebody got a breast job enhancement or whatever they want to call it. Shit was hard. I'm like, why y'all doing that shit? Oh, it's for the look, the camera, the this, the that. It's more marketable in the business. We get more bookings. And I'm like, so that means O-Phase is telling y'all to do that. It kind of slowed down when urban and ebony porn started taking off, because those women already was built naturally, right? But this thing in the late 2010s, all the way up until now, where the price has dropped significantly, and you're seeing more and more women traveling to get the surgery, we're hearing more and more tragedies, more and more people using their salaries, their credit cards, their insurance even, to go and get this surgery. And it's women who are teachers, nurses, UPS parcels people, like people who are not in the sex industry and not in entertainment. And I'm trying to figure it out. I'm still to this day trying to figure it out. Like, if you're not making money, right, with your body parts and enhancements of it, it makes zero sense to get it. It just is. It ain't making your box any more moist. It ain't making your brain any more intelligent. It's not giving you any more of a character. And as I always say, when you lead with your ass, you're going to get ass. That's just it. Nobody's going to be into you. Okay? But again, more and more women are going. This time, and this isn't the only time that this happened to a police officer. There was also an officer in Louisiana, I believe, and she went overseas and ended up losing her life after a BBL. This here hits a little different. This is NYPD. Now, recently we had a NYPD detective lose her job because she was in this low budget commercial rap video with a thong up in her grippers. I don't even want to say a thong. I believe it was a T-bar. You know what I'm saying? Them T-bar drawers. All the way up her grippers. So the NYPD don't take that lightly. This officer here, let's go right to it. And you're going to see why it's different. An NYPD detective and loving mom of 3 was unalived a week after receiving a butt lift and liposuction procedure in Colombia, prompting her grieving husband to request an investigation into her sudden death. Detective Alicia Stone, 40, okay, was rushed to Fundación Valle de Lili Hospital in Cali after she was discovered unresponsive in her hotel room around 6:30 a.m. Thursday. Okay? The 13-year NYPD veteran, who was part of the department's Internal Affairs Bureau, was pronounced just about an hour later. Her death or cause of it was listed as unspecified cardiac arrest. Stone had undergone a liposuction and gluteal fat transfer procedure in the country on October 16th, just 1 week prior. She was taking anticoagulants and pain medication as part of her post-operative plan and was transferred to a hotel to recover after the surgery. Her husband, Michael Stone, said that he intends to request an autopsy and probe what led to her sudden death. The doctor who called me from Colombia just called me and told me my wife had passed away. She didn't have any information to tell me when I was asking her. Something just doesn't add up. To be called Thursday and told that she passed away, that is just shocking and hurtful, the husband said. I don't have the facts, and that's what I need, the facts of what happened. Michael recalled that his wife was perfectly fine just before her procedure and had told relatives the day before her death that she was feeling all right. She was a mother of 3 kids, he said. She was a perfectionist. And in a short space of time, she moved from being a police officer to internal affairs to a second-degree detective. I want her to be remembered as an officer who is loved by her peers and greatly, greatly loved by her family, and we miss her so much. Well, we send our deepest condolences to the law, because even though she was law enforcement, she damn sure was a mother of 3. But ain't nobody gonna remember all that. All they gonna remember is that she got her butt lifted and paid for it. The ultimate price. And we trying to figure it out. Now, I've seen this posted all through social media, and a lot of people have a lot of different takes on it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At 40, listen, and the officer, she should have been working out. She could have been in the gym. She could have had fat burners, creatine, and whatever else she needed to take. Get to working, and she would have had whatever shape she wanted to get. But again, people want the quick fix. And I'm still, trust me when I tell you, having a hard time understanding it. Because if the box is working and that's your wife and y'all doing what it do, you got 3 kids, ain't no way in hell she can convince me to allow her to go to another country to get some surgery. Ain't that much ass having in the world. Peace, Ed. What up? Mike Nice, what up? It's just not. It's not. It's not worth it. Now, a lot of people was questioning her husband. And I'll tell you this. You cannot make anybody do anything, and you cannot prevent anybody from doing anything. I don't care what your title is. Because it's obvious to a duck she was gone. He wasn't there. So we don't know what their marriage was like. We don't know what the conversations was like. Shit. We don't know if he encouraged her to get it or if he begged her not to go. But we do know the end results. We do know that. And that's where the questions come in. If you mean to tell me you went from a regular officer to internal affairs, a detective in 13 years, and you didn't have the wherewithal to say, well, listen, let me just work this shit out. Something not right up here. It's just not. It isn't. And if it's not right up here, there's nothing the husband can do. Nothing the husband can do or say. Because if it was, he would have said it. He would have done it, I'm sure. Ain't no man want to sit and be taking care of 3 kids on his own. Especially when the kids are of a certain age and they know what happened. No man wants to be widowed, and widowed like that for that reason. To have to tell the kids that your mom's didn't make her butt procedure. You died in some musty hotel in Colombia with her ass in the air. Women, I don't care what your struggles is. Your looks and your appearance shouldn't be one of them. You have to find that beauty within yourself and appreciate you. That's how the rest of the world gravitates towards you. I just seen a video of Lizzo. I'm trying to figure out the ad. But she doing dips off of the goddamn bench. She working on her arms. And Lizzo ain't even a fat chick no more. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't know if she did that to get into the industry, but Lizzo's a BBW. And I'm almost certain that if you've seen her in person, she not that big. I could tell you that right now. I'm telling you, I see some big bras in the town, and I see some big bras in the gym. And I could tell from what I'm seeing as far as the recent videos and pics of Lizzo with the weight loss, with the consistency and working out, she's not that big. And even at her biggest, dudes were still ready to knock that down. With her Rakishi looking ass, dudes were still on her. So please explain to me at what point does somebody, you know, put in a psyche that they can go up under the knife. Yo, that shit is not a game. It's just not. It's not a game. Frankie, much appreciation for the first war effort funding of the night. I'm telling you, ladies, men don't care. They don't. They don't. That is a false narrative that the old face put out there. That men are that visual. They not. They not. 80% of the men that step out on a girl, excuse me, y'all, or their spouse, 80% of the time the chick don't look nowhere near what their girl or spouse think that the chick is going to look like. It's that chick that he can have some solace and a peace of mind around, that's going to drain his little sack, give him a sandwich, and chill out. And you'll be looking and saying, damn. It could be somebody look as crazy as Glorilla without makeup. Or, let's see, who's a little bit on the chunky side, man? Missy Elliott in 97. It's never the dime, the quarter piece. I don't give a damn about none of that at all. I'm telling you right now. Young, superficial dudes might do, and even nowadays, they don't do that. The youngins ain't even doing that now. Time and time again, those women who look like that ain't worth a damn nowhere. Not as a conversation, not in the bed, nothing. Them dimes and quarter pieces be whack as hell. Trash. So y'all need to stop trying to look like that image. If a woman has it, she has it. Okay. But to go get surgery to do it, to alter your body, nah. Cut that bullshit out. Cut it out. This woman lost her whole life. She had a career, a family, and everything. And because she wanted to get some fat in her butt, she paid for it with her life. And we are tired of hearing it. It's like, come on, it's so corny now. It is. It's corny as hell now. You say block monster, they brains is dumb trash. Brains ain't the only thing trash on them. I'm telling you. I had quite a few in my day. Box be musty. They, again, like we spoke about it the other night. We said that women, as a gender, are over-sexualized from the gate. From the gate. They have no choice in the matter. Because the first thing people say, oh, look at it. Oh, that's a pretty baby. The gorgeous little girl. Oh, she's so pretty. That's what you do from birth to the women. As a gender, they are sexualized. Okay? Joshua, much appreciation for the war effort. Okay? So women have to get in a psyche that that's not what it's all about, that the world should not consistently put them in that space, and that's difficult to do. Because the oppressors want that for women. Because what does it do? It creates an imbalance. You never view yourself as being intelligent or strong. You just consistently view yourself in a manner which if somebody wants to stick something in you. And no matter, as it's been proven, no matter the intelligence level, right, the economic space, women have a difficult time in that. Very difficult. But that surgery shit ain't it. Especially when you're doing it around an area that delicate. That is the most sensitive and dangerous place on a woman. Anything around her reproductive area, her grippers, it's just, nah. So to sit there involuntarily, and I'm trying to think of the idea that they have in their head, ooh, well, I'm gonna have me a fat butt. Like, what? You a cop, or you a nurse, or you a kindergarten teacher. Bitch, you work for UPS. And you tell me, oh, I'm gonna have a fat butt. And you married. Hey, Boogie, much appreciated for the super chat. Do you get that? You already married. So what does she need the fat butt for? What does she need the plumpness for? She's already married with 3 seeds. What was going on? That's why people, excuse me, are questioning hubby. And did he know? And what was the discussion? I mean, it's just weird. So I want women to know, leave yourself alone. If you want to shift anything, take your ass to the nearest gym, the nearest park. Start with walking, brisk walking. Then if you can't get to a little jog, then start your calisthenics, stretching and all that, and then get into some free weight training. Or take boxing. You definitely gonna lose some boxing lessons. Find somebody that's in the dojo and practice Aikido or something. For real. But to lay on the table and have somebody take a scalpel and open up your ass, that ain't it. That ain't it. All right? So, got rid of that. Speaking of which, let's get to dummy Cardi. Yeah, dummy Cardi, because she got a BBL. All right? She went under the knife. She got breast enhancement and all that. Then she get her face did too and all that. Still didn't help. Dumb as a button. And I don't understand why women, follow her and praise her and swear that she know what the hell she talking about. She don't. She don't. She was cute when she was a little broad in the back of the class just yelling out, yeah, yeah, and you know, because she has the appearance that she is dumb as a wooden nickel, but some of the things that she said out of her mouth made a little sense to the other little dumb girls. But now she too old for the shit that she's saying and doing. So now either the people she influencing and are praising her are just as dumb as her, right? Or we are in a space where we are a little bit too intelligent for the bullshit. Because little viral clip of her yesterday calling people out for voting for 47 as if she really knows that? Come on. Come on, Cardi. Come on, stop it. So in this live, I don't know if she went live on IG or some other platform or Twitter, whatever. It looks like it was filtered out because her head looked like a bobblehead, like a bubble. And she was in there talking about her decision, what she decided, when she decided to rock with Kamala. Because Kamala had a plan. And all you, now this is her words, all you poor people who voted for Trump, as if she's not poor, all you poor people who voted for Trump, you see what? This is what I was trying to tell you. Now I'm trying to figure out when she's speaking about what she decided to do, because she makes some of the dumbest decisions I've ever seen. For somebody to come from the Bronx, for somebody who had it so rough and was still able to at least get in college for a little bit and find her way through the stripping scene and eventually to become a commercial rapper, her decisions is off. And we knew that as New Yorkers by her messing with Offset from the rip. Ain't no New Yorker gonna mess with none of them country dudes from the A. That's just a bonehead dummy move. No disrespect to the A, but we know y'all dudes down there on the majority like getting male reproductive juices in your rectum naturally. So for a chick from NYC to the Bronx to make that decision had people scratching their heads. Because as we can recall her coming through the game, she was consistently saying she was going to Rikers Island because she had an ashy dude on the island. And no matter what she did in the industry, that was her boo. All of a sudden that disappeared and she got with this dude. Okay? And this dude, he be in some weird shit. In some weird shit. Looking real weird. Okay? Moving. And if you haven't been to an industry function where you're behind the scenes, you wouldn't pick up on how feminine these dudes are. Even the toughest ones that you see, these gangster rappers and all that you see on video and on TV and in their image, when you get up on them and get next to them, they look real now later Skittleish. I'm telling you. So we knew Cardi was a dummy from that point. You went with this dude and had a seed. And if I'm not mistaken, she was twerking when she was having that seed. Yeah, they mad Almondy. He moved like Almond Brown. Yeah. So she decided. And when she decided, she tried to tell y'all about Trump. And you poor people voted for him. As I recall, many poor, and she's saying poor, people of the lower income sat out that vote. Many sat out that vote. However, you know, she wanted to chastise people. She came on social media capping as if she made the right decision. She decided. Now we know, and I don't want to miss anything here. I really don't. Offset is a father of 6 children by 4 different women. The first 4 of whom appeared in the cover art for his 2019 album, Father of 4. Okay? One son was born to Justine Watson in 2009. In 2015, Offset fathered a son with Oriel Jamie and a daughter with Shy El Amor. He and Cardi had a daughter in 2018 and a son in 2021. So where was your decision making then? Here, you coming through the game. You get in one of the most difficult games there is, the entertainment game for a commercial rap female. You come through and you win and you get on and you're hot and popping and you gonna have a seed by somebody with 4 kids already. That ain't a smart decision. That's some dummy shit. That definitely ain't somebody who got on from the Bronx knowing the struggle. As a Latina, you jumped over many hurdles that could have tripped you up on your way through. No seeds. Coming through the BX. Chip tooth and all that to start dancing when you wasn't as big as a minute. No hard drug use, none of that. You evaded all that to get on, not only get on, but to be the top. And you gonna have a baby by this nigga. That was your decision. You decided to do that. Then you have another by him, and then you file for divorce. Okay? Now, after the divorce filing, you go to this other sweet dude, Stephon Diggs, who got 2 daughters. Okay? Already. You look like you let him beat in the truck that went viral while you were married. So your decisions ain't something that people need to be holding in high regard, especially when you're talking about their vote. Because your decision making has been raggedy. And for the last month or so, you've been exposing, right, your body while you looking like you in the 3rd trimester, naked twerking. Because you're working. For all y'all who don't understand, this is work. When she's promoting an album, when that's their job. But the record industry doesn't give you health care insurance. That's not a real employer. So she's paying out of pocket and all this other stuff. And she's making the decision to work around loud noises, around people who are high or inebriated, around mass strangers doing photo shoots and signings and meet and greets and all that, naked and barefoot and twerking. So how can you come at poor people who you don't know whether they voted or not because you see 47 doing the same shit that he said he was going to do when he was 45? You mad weird, dummy. But again, in this age, women praise her, other dummies, and you can see the support. See, I love when they do these viral videos and they comment, and they have like 1,000 people comment, and you read the comments, and then you go to the pages, and you just block them because you don't want that dumb shit to rub off on your page. You don't want people to front, because a lot of people is fake. They don't support. They come and just check your shit out. You don't want that. Because if you don't know that they fake, they'll be on your page for years, fronting. I don't want that dumb fake shit around me, so I'll be blocking a lot of people. On a regular basis, I see dumb shit online and people that comment, I don't go back and forth, I block them. Especially women. There's one thing I can't stand is a dumb woman. Because we don't have any time for that. I don't do the dizzy, bozo, bimbo shit. I don't do that. I block them back. Gone. Gone. So her decision to come on live and act like she's not poor, because you ain't wealthy. Not by a long shot. You still waiting on that Tasha K money to come through. You need that. Don't act like you don't. You needing that shit. So for her to act like she's not of the poor is funny to me. It's funny to me. Because if you're not poor, like if you still get into the bag, if you're not poor financially, you poor mentally. Your shit is a wash. Up here, you's a dub. For real. Because once the rap money slow and whatever other little ventures you got, once that slow up, you just put yourself back in the space of being the average little dirty ass girl from the hood. 2 separate children's fathers, who both of them may be sweet. You just put yourself in a space where you had escaped that statistic. So you ain't too bright. Get your ass out of here. Okay? She decided. Because Kamala had a plan. Get out of here. Okay? So we did the monkey. Be mindful of Mississippi. Keep your eyes open. It's a monkey with bad grippers running around. We did the dummy Cardi. We did the BBL police, BBL mom. Now, we got to go to Grippergate. Grippergate. And as you're just joining, please excuse my voice. I'm losing it. But work is work. I don't work, I don't eat. Okay? I don't get any new people as clients. I don't eat, so I gotta work. I can't be all laid down nursing and no, that ain't the kid. And then I don't get to see y'all. I gotta come. That's that energy. I need that. Y'all like my shirt? Shit is fly, right? Look. Y'all like that? Yeah, that shit is, that's tight. Yeah. You could get it. The information will be in the comments. Okay. So now we gotta go to Grippergate. Another eggplant between the grippers ass dude. Tyler Perry. Now, We just was talking about the fake-ass black church and what they don't do for black folk. Again, we not hating. It's the game. Okay? It's the game. Respect the game. People want to be ignorant, let them go ahead. Difficult for me. I couldn't do it. Ain't nobody gonna talk to me and tell me you got to give $2,000 for a sanctuary. I'm telling you, I slap shit out of pastor, bishop, rev, rabbi, any of that. Straight up. Holy shit. I slap holy shit out of you. And that's real. But again, he talked to the parishioner like that because she still was all in. Oh, pastors, no. He was right. And all that dumb shit. Yeah, all right. Again, she might as well be on the track. Serious. That's all these pastors and bishops be doing. You know what I'm saying? Delivering game instead of being on the track or the blade. They in the safety of four walls and calling it a church. You know. But what do we know? Okay? So now, the last class we was talking about Bishop Winans, Marvin Winans, who had seemingly barked on this lady even after she gave him a little over $1,200. He got on his Goldie shit. Bitch, get my money. You remember how she looked at Goldie like, oh, me? Yeah, bitch, get my money. In front of the boy. So what is the boy to think when he can't get his AFX, hot cards AFX with the dual remote control and shit? Or when them stamps shut down in a couple of days. And he remember she gave the bishop all that money. Man. She might have just sent Shorty to the gang. Excuse me, that's how it usually works. That's how it worked. The first complaint about money in that house, he's old enough to remember that shit. Like, yo, she gave this man all his money. Kids ain't dumb. So now we can't eat. She told me to put the cereal back when I was in Piggly Wiggly because she ain't have enough and we be wasting it. But she gave that man $1,200. I mean, that's what I would think. Shirt is hard, right? I know, Teran, I'm telling you. Telling you my dude hands is nasty. Yeah. Anyway, let's get to it. Tyler Perry has once again shown his generosity and unwavering faith by donating $100,000 to Bishop Marvin Winans' Perfecting Church in Detroit. The filmmaker's gesture comes as the church faces criticism following a viral video that ignited widespread conversation about how churches handle money and maintain transparency with their members. So, because he comes from an institution of the church, because he was abused, because he's still trying to figure himself out, and he has made all this money, utilizing the themes of the church. I want y'all to not forget that. Every movie Tyler Perry has made has some type of church theme to it. Not only does he depict heterosexual black men as monsters consistently, but the good man is always a churchman, the Bible thumping ass nigga. So of course, when that institution is threatened because they was coming for this Bishop Marvin's neck online, because that institution was threatened, he comes Captain Save a Hole and drops $100K. Excuse me, y'all. $100K. Now, what do you think happened in the church when the bishop said that? Here we go with another viral clip. Yeah. The parishioners in there jumping and screaming just like just like an episode of the Boondocks. Jumping, screaming, and hollering. Okay? Listen, the now viral clip, which appeared on social media earlier this month, shows Bishop Winans addressing a congregant for only giving $1,200, sparking strong reactions online. Some viewers condemned the tone of the exchange, calling it insensitive, while others defended the church, arguing the comments were taken out of context. Regardless, the moment ignited a long-standing debate about accountability and leadership within faith-based institutions, many of whom are scams. Okay? To Ray, much appreciation. Salute, salute, salute. All right? In the midst of the backlash, Perry quietly made his donation, a clear show of solidarity with Bishop Winans and his congregation. Now check this out. Known for his deep Christian faith and history of philanthropy, the Madea creator often uses his platform and resources to uplift communities facing challenges. His contribution to perfecting church is being viewed by many as a reminder of unity and support during moments of division. But I want y'all to watch the church in Black Hollywood in this gesture. Communities facing challenges, they say that he always is philanthropic when it comes to that. But they never donate that for liberation. Never. Never. These is niggas that are beholden to master. These acts of generosity are never for those who are seeking liberation for our people to recognize their potential outside of the white structure. That ain't in their calling. That's why they always considered weak niggas. To anybody of a high intelligence. Because when he gave it for a sanctuary, these niggas jumped up and down. I ain't seen no shit like that since the last that won Wheel of Fortune. For real. For real. Supporters of both Perry and Bishop Winans applauded the act. Tyler's generosity is proof that you can stand with someone even while encouraging growth. One social media user commented, yeah, okay. Others echoed that sentiment, saying Perry's donation reinforces his reputation as someone who doesn't turn his back on faith communities in crisis. So faith communities in crisis get the support, while the mass communities in crisis, he'd tell them to kiss Madea ass. That's just the fact. That's the same shit with him, with Spike. You understand? With any of these Negroes that work within Hollywood. Okay? What crisis? The crisis was they needed a sanctuary. When people gonna need food next week, he dropped $100K for a sanctuary. Listen, I'm just here as a vessel of the truth. Mm-hmm. Exactly. You'll be sending food boxes directly to people. It's insane. Still, not everyone is convinced the controversy is resolved. Critics say the discussion about financial accountability in churches shouldn't be overshadowed by celebrity generosity. And that's true. That's true. Check this out. Tyler Perry's gift, however, aligns with his long pattern of using success to help others. Over the years, the Atlanta-based mogul has given millions towards scholarships, housing assistance, disaster relief, and social causes close to his heart. What's close to his heart isn't liberation, because it would say it. All right? His faith, which he often credits for guiding him from poverty to prominence, remains a driving force behind his philanthropy. So if you're not faith-based, you get nothing from him. You could be in a position to move in your people towards the ultimate goal of liberation, free from whitey, free from the old faith. You're not getting nothing. Because that ain't close to his heart. That's just what it is. That's what I always tell you. These dudes don't want liberation. They want to be close to master. I ain't never lied. But they get mad when we say that. Don't get mad. Don't get mad. Fluff Daddy just dropped $100K. It's true. They don't want liberation. What are we going to do? Excuse me, y'all. They don't want liberation. They comfortable in oppression. They are reactionary. They do whatever Whitey say. And whatever Whitey don't do, they are reaction. They move in reaction to what whitey don't do. So you give a scholarship here and there, some turkeys here and there. Churches, you make sure that the church got a sanctuary. You might pay for doors for another church, or pews for another church, or maybe 1,000 Bibles. But for effective grassroots organizations or persons who are moving to enlighten individuals on who they are and what they can do when they're seeking true justice, true freedoms, they don't have nothing for you. They don't. They don't. Okay? So that's what it is. Again, thank y'all for holding me down. So we got rid of this gripper-gate ass dude. Tyler might get them grippers for that 100K. That might be for a date. He might have just lined that bishop up. He's like, I ain't never had no bishop tail. Damn, Bishop, you went for that shit too. Give me them grips, yeah. You know, Bishop, you know, 100K in a small amount. And you know, sometimes I got needs when I'm coming through this neck of the woods here and there. Where we at? In Detroit? Yeah. Okay. Again, I always tell y'all I don't like to do street news, right? But I'm getting tired of this Bimmy Anthony shit. It's just shit just don't make sense to me. Regardless of the fact that Prince is home, the fact that Supreme has been saying it, like, people still supporting this dude, and they trying to keep focusing on paperwork. And no matter how many times real dudes tell you about the paperwork and not being able to get it, I said it here several times, man. You don't get it. You got a lot of shit, man, that you miss when you are under investigation and indictment. That's why they got different things, Brady material and all this other shit that y'all squares just don't know about. Y'all don't. So, only reason I'm doing it in class tonight, and I didn't want to wait, till I finish this cold, is because by then something else may come up to give him a boost. Because that's what seems to happen. As soon as somebody put a nail in the coffin, he creeps back out, right? And I'm noticing that a lot of people that support him are questionable. Their grippers might be compromised, or they might have told. So, as eloquently as Prince has been doing since he's been home, I noticed that he's not speaking on a lot of it. He's not. And there may be a certain angle that he doesn't want to utilize. But shit, I'm going to utilize it. And only, only for the fact that I saw a video with, and I can't call him OG. Shit, I'm OG, man. We might be the same age. But the video side of OG says he's seen Preem's paperwork, and it had Bimmy name, and it had Black Just name in it. Now, I didn't watch the video, but I seen it. And I said, hold up. Now, I was with Black Just. So that's what made me say, hold up. Might be something to this. Now, I was with Black Just, and anybody, if you're in class, if you've done time, whether it's on Rikers Island, whether it's up north, whether it's in the feds, you meet people at their most vulnerable point, regardless of how much money they got or their reputation. People are they true selves behind them walls. There's no hiding. When you cry, you cry. When you laugh, you laugh. How you approach beef. How you approach situations when your family falling apart on the outside. All that shit is right there. So dudes' bonds are real in there. Unless they just shicey individuals. I was with Black Just for a whole, damn near a whole year. I seen him at his most vulnerable points. I probably know things about him that most people don't. And I'm not saying I was with him like no. I moved him into my house before knowing who he was. Remember, I didn't run around Queens like that. Nah. Definitely not Jamaica. No trains and shit out there. You gotta drive. Everything out there is drive. Nah, that wasn't. So these dudes wasn't on my radar like that, other than hearing. Consistently hearing the stories. And remember, back then, dudes ain't have no Instagram. Dudes ain't even had no magazines and none of that shit back then. So if you wasn't in it, you wasn't hustling on a certain level, you didn't see these dudes. You didn't know what the hell Preem and them look like. I didn't know that. Years go by, then it becomes commonplace when you go into the same spots. So if you going to the comedy club out there, what's the comedy club out there on Linden and Merritt? Man, I done chased a couple of dudes up out of there. What's the name of that shit? Somebody help me out. Unless you're going to the comedy club out there, or you going to the Q club, or you didn't know all these dudes. And definitely didn't know his government at the time. But as a favor to one of my peoples, I moved Black Just in my house. And found it funny that we both had the same last name. I was like, oh shit. We moved here. I said, Government Johnson? Okay, move him in. And we got tight. That's it, Manhattan proper. Yes, F. Rich, yeah, Manhattan proper. Right, Manhattan proper. So now, I'm moving him in my house. But when we are moving around the yard and around the law library in the building, is me, is Black Just, is World, yeah, Damon World Hardy, okay, my man Pete Perfilio out of Bushwick, Drac from Cypress, who else we had with us? Another dude from Queens, Big Mike Gaddy, running around, and my workout partner, Scotty Young. Another Queens dude, no brother, Scotty Young, but he became blood on me. They brought him home, so he started running around with that. That was all on library crew rather. You know, running around talking, you know, about this, about that street shit. Yo, holla at me when we get home. I don't know, you know that one? You know that one? Yeah, okay. But I would never, even with his reputation and his name, always a smooth and a good dude, I wouldn't have thought, and I never do, that somebody would put an allegation out like that about him. You dig? But when he went home, I never forget he went home. Yo, here's a number. When I get to the town, I'm gonna give you a number that's directly to me. Holla, this, that, and the third. No doubt. Telling me about the Kid Graph and Black Hand and all that, and doing something in the industry. You know me, it's neither here nor there. I'm damn sure my appeal wasn't even ready yet. I don't even think they had heard it in Supreme yet. I think I was down and it was still in the appellate courts. But anyway, he went home and not long after that, got pushed. But he did disclose a lot about, you know, what was going on. And a lot of that, and what he said to me, gonna stay with me. I wouldn't put that shit out online, because that's not what I do, especially with street shit. Nowadays, industry dudes, I do that shit all day. When it comes to street shit, jail shit, you don't hear that shit from Bliz. Dudes are still fighting cases, dudes are still alive. It's neither here nor there. But he definitely disclosed a lot of stuff. And when I know about him personally, I wouldn't put that out there. Like I said, dudes do a lot of things, okay, when they behind the walls. All right? They would shock people. No Grippergate shit, but shit surprised me. Hell out of me. I was like, oh, word? Damn, son, you rock like that? But anyway, with all these allegations and how people moving, when you talk about paperwork, you got to know how to read it. And then you go back to what individuals are saying. Now, for what everybody is believing, Bimmy was part of the team. Am I right or am I wrong? He said it himself. Excuse me. Excuse me, hold on. He said it himself. I am Supreme Team. I'm a team. And nobody had argued that up until this point. Right? People identify him as such. He's been in pics with them since he was a youngin'. You see all the pics and so I'm like, damn. True, he did block Monster, but you have to know how to read paperwork. And you have to know what paperwork is good, what paperwork is sus, and read in between the lines. It'll tell you a lot. Now, from what I know of him out of his own mouth and what I know from the street, he really didn't get jammed up in a lot of that shit that they was, well, shit, to be connected, to be calling yourself that, to be recognized as somebody in that Man, you either got a hell of a horseshoe or you done did some cooperating. Now, the first time he got jammed up, this is what he's saying, right? Was the Sweet Tea incident, where Sweet Tea lined him up, and for that lineup, he had got a bid. 3 to life. He said that was 92. So, I want y'all to keep that in mind. Let me go to some legal work here. Okay? Now, I'm reading it. You don't know where I got it from or what it is, but I'm going to read it to you. Straight legal work. Okay? Now, of course, when you are of that and you of it, you'll know where I got it from. It'd be easy for you, but for you laymen, y'all won't know. But since I'm sick of the bullshit and I want to just get to it, I got to do it. Now, this is what the federal government has said about these black men. This ain't no made up shit. This ain't coming from the street. This ain't coming from no rappers. This is what's coming from the federal government. The Supreme Team was a street gang organized in the early 1980s in the vicinity of the Baisley Park houses in Jamaica, Queens, New York, by a group of teenagers who were members of a quasi-religious sect known as the Five Percenters. Under the leadership of Kenneth Supreme McGriff, with Miller, his nephew, as second in command, the gang concentrated its criminal efforts on a widespread distribution of crack cocaine. At its 1987 peak, the Supreme Team's receipts exceeded $200,000 a day, and the gang regularly committed acts of violence and murder to maintain a stranglehold on the area's drug trade. After McGriff went to jail in 1987, leadership of the Supreme Team was assumed by Miller. Miller solidified his control by increasing the security force and employing it against rivals and against team members suspected of disloyalty. And that's key. During 1987 alone, Miller and then incarcerated McGriff ordered at least 8 bodies. Now, he said he's been a part of this from the rip. Okay? He's been there. During all that time, the pictures is there. He ain't fronting. He got pictures. Okay? That place him right in the mix. Now, in 1987, late 1987, however, while Miller was incarcerated on state charges, right? And now Prince is locked up, Preem is locked up. A task force of NYPD and Federal Bureau of Investigation officers executed search warrants on a number of Supreme Team storage locations, drug outlets, and residences. Although the gang was tipped off about the raid, shortly before it occurred, it was able to remove 11 kilograms of cocaine and $200,000 from targeted premises. Authorities nonetheless seized an array of weapons, narcotics trade hardware, photographs, documents, and instructional manuals on criminal conduct, as well as a kilogram of cocaine and thousands of dollars. Following that raid and his own arrest by federal agents, McGriff ordered that the gang's operations be shut down. Photographs is key. Because Bimmy in the photographs. Is he not? Is he not? Come on now. Is he not in the photographs? Did he not say he was getting money with the team? Is he not a team member? Come on, man. Come on. So the feds got the photographs. Okay? In August 1989, state agents installed a pen register on the home telephone of Polly Douglas, the mother of Jimenez. Now, some of these names, I'm telling you, this is layman shit. This is not shit for laymen, excuse me. And I'm jumping around, but I want you to get the gist of it. The names will come back and forth. But what you're gonna notice is you never hear Bimmy name. Okay, none of it. And you never hear Just name. Okay? All right? The register indicated that the telephone was used to place many calls to telephones where Supreme Team members lived or conducted illegal businesses, and that several calls were received from state prisons where gang members were incarcerated. Now, did he say he was going back and forth to see them, to send them money, to hold shit down, doing what he's supposed to do as a member of the team? Did he not? He did. In several of these chatty patty interviews that he's been doing, he talk a lot. He be babbling. Okay? Now, I'm trying to figure out how he getting around any of this. It's going to get deep. These calls and shit like that, this ain't today. We talking about 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, the 92 when he got knocked. Dudes is using pages, landlines. There no cell phones like that back then. Okay? Based on this and other information, the state subsequently authorized to install a wiretap, which became operational in December 1989. The Douglas wiretap. The Douglas wiretap intercepted discussions of the Supreme Team's narco trafficking between the Douglas home and the home of Miller. God body, much appreciation for the war effort. Okay? With this and other information, the state obtained authorization to tap the telephone in Miller's home, the Miller wiretap. The Miller wiretap became operational in January 1990. The Miller wiretap intercepted the conversations of Miller, Arroyo, Hale, David Robinson, Raymond Robinson, Tucker Coleman, and other Supreme Team members as they discussed narco trafficking. Other team members. What are other team members? What are other team members? What are other team members that aren't named? And there's plenty, but we talking about somebody who's in all of the pictures. gotta be up in the team members category, right? Miller was intercepted discussing drug transactions with William Graham on Graham's home telephone, and the state soon thereafter obtained authorization to wiretap the latter telephone, which is the Graham wiretap. The Graham wiretap became operational in February 1990. The Graham wiretap also intercepted several incriminating conversations between Graham and other gang members, including Miller, Arroyo, Hale, David Robinson, and Raymond Robinson. Okay? All of the wiretaps were reviewed at least once, and the Miller and Graham wiretaps remained in place until the defendants and William Graham were arrested by state officers in March 1990. Now, all this time, we talking about from 87 to 88, 89, and 90. You mean to tell me that in all these phone conversations, all these wiretaps, that Bimmy was never speaking to he didn't speak to Prince. He didn't speak to none of these co-defendants. He didn't speak to nobody in 5 years on the street and get money with them. He not on these wiretaps. Now, the only reason why the state or the feds or the government would protect and exclude naming him in these wiretaps is because they knew what the hell would happen. Okay? Let's continue. In the state's case against Graham, who was prosecuted separately from Miller and the other Supreme Team members, the state court suppressed the evidence gathered through the Graham and Miller wiretaps on the grounds that the state officers had not disclosed to the authorizing judge that Hale had been cooperating with the police and that the officers had recklessly disregarded state law requirements that the identities of all persons whose conversations are likely to be intercepted be disclosed in the warrant application. On the basis of that decision, Miller successfully moved to suppress the evidence collected through the Graham wiretap on the grounds of the collateral estoppel. Now, we don't know what kind of Brady material, what kind of evidence, what all this shit was being presented to grand juries, evidentiary hearings, and all that. If you got CIs, right, confidential informants or cooperating witnesses, that shit not gonna be up in there. It's not. It's not. It would be very difficult to find that. Those things are usually police or the agents themselves in their notes, if they keep notes. So you won't know. I mean, you could put two to two together and see who did what and who said what because you know. Right? Prince with no Preem would know. You would know. Wouldn't you? Now, let's continue because I'm trying to make sense of it. If he's saying that he's team officially on a regular basis, he's saying that. And he's not snatched up in none of this shit that don't bother no one. Like, what's his magic? What's his magic? Remember, Preem is gone. Prince was gone for a minute and came home. So the only recognizable team people I mean, highly recognized. You know, Queens individuals know who's who other than that, but highly recognizable is Bimmy and Just. So with those two gone, you don't think the authorities is going to be on whoever's left, even when Preem shut shit down? Huh? Let's continue. As to the present case, when the state applied in state court for wiretap authorizations, it explained that it had been investigating the Supreme Team for some years and had nearly exhausted its battery of traditional investigative techniques with little significant success. Using normal techniques, the state had been unable to penetrate the Supreme Team or gain sufficient admissible evidence against any members other than those at the lowest echelons. So now, everybody up here, the upper echelons, is Preem and Prince. Who else would be upper echelon? Bimmy, Just, these are the names. So if he's not, because this is the excuse people going to use, well, he wasn't the top. So if he wasn't the top, that means he would be lower echelons, which means the feds and the state were successful in getting admissible evidence against the lower echelons. So was he a lower echelon team member or was he up here? Because if he was up here, he should have been gone. If he was up here, he should have been gone. So that means y'all saying that he's lower echelon, and that means that the state had successful wiretaps on him. That's what they saying, right? Admissible evidence against any members other than those at the lower levels, because at the lower levels, they talking reckless, they not paying attention, they ain't been schooled. So it's either or. Either you up here, like you said, which don't make sense, you should have been gone, or you a lower echelon, which means the feds has something on you, or the state. Let's continue. The team's leaders had insulated themselves from police contact through extensive use of bodyguards and lookouts. And when the state applied for wiretap authorization, it had yet to identify all of the upper and middle level members of the Supreme Team, or to determine where the narcotics and illegal proceeds were kept, or to identify the team's suppliers. But we can identify them because we see the pictures, because the streets know. The streets know who's who. So they might not know based on investigative information to get indictments, but we know, right? Was he upper echelon or was he mid-level? The state had procured the cooperation of one accomplice, but it was hesitated to attempt other undercover infiltration because of the extreme violence in which the Supreme Team engaged against persons it believed were threats to its security. So they flipped one. But listen, if the individual was so high up within the mix, they damn sure didn't want to alarm the team. Because you would have been out of here. Is that him? We don't know. We don't know as of yet. But we damn sure know when it went down, he was still out and about. blowing Bobby Brown's sister back out, running around with Sweet Tea. He having a good old time, even though he was tagged as Supreme Team. I just want to figure this shit out. Let's go. Even by the time the state applied for the wiretap, it was still unable to obtain the physical evidence whose existence could be gleaned for conversations intercepted by wiretap, given both the difficulty of infiltration by undercover officers and the unreliability of cooperating defendants. For example, Hale at one time agreed to cooperate and then at various points refused to cooperate. His history of homicide and drug abuse further decreased his reliability. Thus, the state sought wiretaps in order to identify the team's leaders and suppliers and to locate the stash houses and weapons. So all these wiretaps running around, he's a team member. He don't get caught in none of the wiretap, none, not one. Not one? Come on, man. Come on. Come on, man. Help me out. Help me out. That makes sense to y'all? Huh? Help me out. Talk about it, yo. Talk about it. I'm trying to get y'all to understand that this is not nothing that you could wiggle away from. It's not. You're not just wiggling out of that. As bad as it was during that time period, huh? Let's continue. Because now we're in a space where is as a legal or a non-legal layman, you won't have no clue on where I'm at with this and where it's going. You're going to understand, though, when I'm finished. Okay? Let's continue. We reached the same result with respect to the defendants tried in the Miller trial, whether or not they objected to the instructions for the evidence that was each of the 6 defendants eventually convicted on the RICO count after the trial. Because they tried them for a RICO. So I don't know if y'all have seen recently what they do with these RICOs. Everybody go. Everybody. When they run down on them little gangs in the Bronx and Brooklyn and Queens, everybody go. They don't leave nobody out. And in the beginnings of this epidemic that we lived through, this crack epidemic, when somebody went on any crew, whether it was the Jerry Curls, whether it was the Corleys, whether it was the team, everybody went. Gone. This is a RICO. They're going to get as many as they can. Right? The responsibility for the management of or discretion in the operation of the Supreme Team's operations. Miller was the leader. Arroyo was second in command. David Robinson helped supervise the operations. Tucker managed the retail spot and supervised a crew of workers. Hunt was Miller's bodyguard and Hale was a security guard. By the nature of their duties as providers of security, Hunt and Hale had discretion to take action without direction from those higher on the chain of command, and both had considerable responsibility for dealings with the Supreme Team's perceived enemies. For example, when Rivera was targeted to be unalived, Hunt clapped him. When Rivera survived and was tracked down, Hale was one of the men who clapped and unalived Rivera. It is plain that all 6 of these defendants had roles that met the standard of participation. So where was he at in this? Where was he at? Because he wasn't that young. You got to stop that. In 87, I was 17. He's older than me. He's older than me. So in 87, he was like 19, 20. Okay? Now I want you to see what's defined in racketeering. RICO defines racketeering activity to include any act involving unalivement, which is chargeable under the state law and punishable by imprisonment for more than 1 year. In or about summer of 1987, with the Eastern District of New York, the defendant, Gerald Miller, a.k.a. Prince, believing it probable that he was rendering aid to a person who intended to commit an unalivement, knowingly and intentionally engaged in conduct which provided such person with means and opportunity for the commission of that crime. Okay? And which in fact aided in the commission of that crime, namely the unalivement of Isaac Bowden, aka Just Me. So now all this is going on. All of this is going on in that mix. This man is right here. He not on no wiretaps. He don't get pulled in for no information. He just a free for all, just running around getting money. And when they go down, they just ignore him. Nah, come on, man. Now this man is telling you he just came home for doing over 3 decades. And his uncle is saying, yo, this dude been doing this shit for 40 years. And y'all don't believe that? Okay? Now, in the mix of that, they also threw Fat Cat name in it. Because why? Because he ended up taking a plea in that sense, doing what he had to do. But they locked him in and different information and evidence was shared in between all that. But this is how official they are. The feds is thorough. So they know exactly who and what is what before they even come through. They know that. So when these people are talking about, yo, this one is in the paperwork, that one is in the paperwork, this one is in the paperwork, he did this, that, and the third, y'all can't challenge that. You can't tell that. That man did time for that. You understand? Peace, God. Peace, Nate. Much appreciation. Y'all wrong for that. When they telling you certain individuals did certain shit, these men don't have to come on and lie at all. At all. About nothing. And if I could get this paperwork, which I believe me, I just pull from, just to show you the enormity of what they were dealing with and what he got caught for. That's Prince. Because after that, Preem comes home. Now, when Preem comes home, y'all have pictures of him and Bimmy running around? Was he Bimmy that close? I'm asking. After all that went happen with Prince and his co-defendants and the team, and by the time Supreme, who is the namesake of the team, by the time he comes home, is Bimmy around him like that? When Preem is shooting the Donald Goines movie, when Preem is running around with Murder Inc. and all that, is Bimmy there? Is he there? Because he team, right? He's still saying, he's still holding. Is he there? Exactly, monster. Why? Why do you think he ain't speak to that man for 30 years? But you shouting his name that you down with him. You all on this generation's podcast and YouTube spaces and all that yelling team, 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 team. Come on, man. Come on, man. Deep, yo. And it's always interesting and intriguing to me because I never hustled. I never did none of that. I'm surprised that they charge Prince with the RICO because I never heard of him hustling and all that. I never heard until I did the homework and was reading up and seeing what they alleged him to have participated in. I never heard that. How he put in that work. He didn't force it. He put in work. Never heard that. So when I'm reading, and when you read what the old face say, you get a better understanding of how difficult it is for somebody to evade prosecution without cooperating for all these years. Not me, I don't believe that shit. And now people want to call him a cooperating witness or a confidential informant. Okay? For me, regardless of if he testified at trial or not, he's a rat. Not a rat because he told to that definition. I'm saying rat because he's funky and greasy and was participating, and then when shit got hot, decided to rock with them people. but he had to rock with them people. Okay? Had to. Before we close out, let's go here. The evidence at trial included proof that the Nichols organization, and y'all know who I'm talking about, had been robbed of a substantial sum by the Bolden brothers, and that Nichols asked Miller for assistance in locating them. Supreme Team Security Chief Ernesto Piniella testified that Miller asked him to get addresses for the Boldens and their families. This is what they're alleging. This enforcer, security, contacted Ina McGriff and Ronnie Younger, the gang's accomplices in the parole division, who obtained the information. These is POs that they had working with them. POs, parole officers that was rocking with them. Okay? Now, if you up in that organization, if you've been team since 87, 88, you know what they working with. And you know if you giving any information, if you telling, you got to be on the low with it. You know that. Bimmy know that. So whatever information he provided or didn't provide, he was secretive. And the people was extra secretive because look, notes in the two women's handwriting were found in an apartment used by the Supreme Team, showing the addresses of the Isaac Bolden and his mother. Though there may have been some question at the trial as to which of the two women provided which items of information, there was no doubt that all the information was provided at the behest of Miller. Piniella testified that Miller then passed the information on to Nichols. Thereafter, Isaac Bolden was clapped near his mother's home. The matter of whether the information provided by Miller actually assisted in the unalivement, if Nichols already knew the mother's address, was merely a matter for argument to the jury. Nichols himself was in jail at the time of the unalivement, and the jury could easily infer that his organization needed and made use of the assistance that was requested and obtained from Miller. This is how they give it up. This is how they was getting down. So if you telling, if you providing information, the police know that if your information is credible enough to secure a conviction, especially a RICO conviction, to get Prince off the street, they gonna make sure your name ain't in none of the papers, that the wiretaps that they use with that individual in it never get brought up. They gonna make sure that because they don't want you to get your shit pushed. But I want to know, how does one get around all that for all those years and then catch some little bullshit big because Sweet Tea lined you up? Now, y'all Queens dudes could go for that shit. Other dudes in the industry who can support, y'all can support that dumb shit. Now, I don't believe none of that shit. You not getting around that shit. Not back then, not today. And this is a fraction. This is a fraction. A mere small fraction. Trust and believe. There are volumes of information in the law books on that. It is no way nobody that been shouting that shit since you was a teenager was getting around that. No way. No way. At all. So sell that shit to somebody else. I'm tired of hearing it. I'm tired of seeing it on the internet. At this point, it's dumb conversation. We are glad, okay, that some people survived it and are changing or have changed their lives, that they're home and, and that some who were addicted and got recovery and did things and they can't sit and talk about it, but I never lie nobody. I don't lie to my people in this class. And I would never allow anybody to lie to y'all. And I know y'all been watching, excuse me, these different platforms, and they've been lying to you. A lot of these dudes in the 80s, in the 90s, that didn't go to jail, told. A lot of them. There was too many of us getting knocked for the few to survive. Okay? To just be out here. Streets don't work like that. Especially when you didn't straighten up and get a job or something. Streets don't move like that. Don't move like that. And he himself, admittedly, ain't too bright. Failed off of the basketball team in the 9th grade. And every year subsequent, he kept failing and failing and failing and failing until he hit the street. So you're not smarter than the feds, nor the state. And you talk too much now for me to ever believe that you didn't talk too much back then. Okay? So yeah, you, sir, I believe that your ass gave up some information. Excuse me, that your ass is a cooperating witness. All right? And on that note, I thank my classroom assistants for holding it down. Okay? And being with me. It's 1:45. We can ready to take it down. All right? For those who funded the war effort, much appreciation. Much appreciation. It's never lightly. It's never lightly. It's heavily appreciated. Okay? Because there's a lot of things that we have to do. A lot of things. Come on, don't come on here cursing. Get out of here. Okay? Again, don't believe in me. Believe in my belief in you. Believe in my belief in you. Remain militant and guard your mind. Don't let people play with your mind, yo. Don't let people play with your mind. Yes, guard your mind. And do to convince you he ain't tell when you know right there you got the. And this is paperwork I looked up. I got actual trial minutes from other dudes who told. Trial minutes. Chef, much appreciation for coming through. Okay, catch the replay. I'm telling you, I got books. I've had dudes, whole trial transcripts, like dudes just telling. descriptive, on a stand. Okay? So, I don't need to see the paperwork because I know, again, that everything that's done is not no paper trail for it. He could be sitting in rooms. He could have been sitting in spots, barbershops, all that shit. Just telling. Okay? Just telling. No, not team trial minutes. Oh, I said others. Brooklyn trial minutes. Trial minutes from some of my day ones who got sent away for life, natural life, and all that. I know who told in their cases. It's difficult to get trial minutes. Usually most people who have trial minutes are the defendants themselves, and they get those copies while they're incarcerated for appeal purposes. And that used to be free. You dig? Now it's difficult and expensive to get trial minutes. Well, all you got to do is go to a law library and look up the federal statutes and stuff. You can find people cases because almost everybody appeal their case. You dig? Yes, the t-shirt that I'm wearing is black floral. That's right. Promote your shit and put it in the comments. Okay? Put it in the comments so they know where to get it and how to get it. All right? As always, come back to class with all 10 fingers and 10 toes. Watch yourselves out there. And I don't know about the rest of them. My paperwork always good. Okay? Always good. I don't know about the rest of them. And these weirdos who swear they street and talk, these dudes don't know shit. And they not street. These are corny little kids who grew up to be corny ass men, fronting and positioning online. Out of here. I will. I have much appreciation. I'm working on it. As y'all can see, I'm working on it. This is that got cold. We've been on here over 2 hours, so that cold. I got my lemon, all that. I'm working on it, you know? But I got to, again, no matter how minimal or how light the war efforts be, I got to work. I got to work. The information is what's needed. Okay? Manchester, England, what's going on? We see you, Brian. You love American and hate our politics? You don't love America. Nah. America's twisted. Irregardless of politics. You gotta be here to understand that. I got the fresh ginger too, Andre. I got it. Okay? Who y'all talking to? I don't know. But again, if y'all got anything that y'all promoting or selling or bartering, put it in the comment section. Okay? Put it in the comment section. At 55 gang. Get y'all grades up.